Rayner, who flew directly to London from World Cup duty with the USA. An arduous journey, but he's needed today because Paul Bosvelt is missing because of a family illness. John Macken is called in to give Robbie Fowler some attacking support. And 18-year-old Nader Onuoha again keeps out the one-time Charlton right-back and former England defender, of course, Danny Mlllls.
It's a basic 4-4-2 for City today, and I think Stuart Pearce will be pleased that he's been able to pick a relatively strong back four. I think generally they've defended much better Manchester City this season, particularly Dunne and Distin, the two centre-halves. They've been outstanding. In the midfield, that's the key area for City. They've only got the 4. Charlton have got 5. They're going to have to work very, very hard. They're going to have to compete. How fit is Claudio Reyna going to be as well? He's had a very, very busy week, flying here, there and everywhere. He's bound to get tired, particularly with the hot weather that we've already mentioned. Up front, you'll get lots of work rate from John Macken, and you've got the finishing skills of Robbie Fowler.
Well, there's a tremendous support for Charlton these days. They should pass the 500,000 mark for total attendance for their home league games this season by the end of the campaign. That's something they've not done since 1956.
I think it's a great credit, Martin, to everyone at Charlton Athletic Football Club. The problems they had, what, 10, 12, 13 years ago, they was actually playing their matches at West Ham. This actual ground was full of weeds and it was very run down. They've come back to the valley and they've got a wonderful support base now, bringing people in from all around the southeast. It's a great credit to everyone at the club, and they've got plans to actually develop the stadium as well, and everything's moving in the right direction for Charlton.
Well, the Premiership resumes after an Easter recess that was rather forced upon it by FIFA's demands for international dates. And Charlton bursting to get going again after 2 long weeks, reflecting on a shock home defeat by West Bromwich Albion, in which they conceded 4 goals for a 5th time in the league this season. And one of those heavy beatings was dished out by Manchester City back in August. Matt Holland, it's a landmark day for him. His 500th game in his club career. And Tony, he's one of the gentlemen of the game as well.
He certainly is, Martin. He was a youth player at West Ham when I was there, and I know him very well. He's a lovely bloke, and he's also an excellent player as well. Great credit to the professional footballers.
Well, the City players are speaking well of Stuart Pearce's start as the successor to Kevin Keegan, but they know they have to produce results to keep him in a job, and deep down to keep themselves in a job. Top half of the table finish is certainly within the remit of their ambition. And as for Charlton, well, we know that they are in with a shout of bringing European football to the Valley. It's the next logical step, really. They've established themselves as regular members of the Premiership elite. That doesn't come easy, and that's perhaps why they've tailed away a number of times in recent seasons. They're such a hard-working team. They put so much into getting survival out of the way. But their eyes are on Europe. And it will be, in many senses of the word, a warm welcome here for the two teams. And there is plenty at stake in southeast London between Charlton and Manchester City. It's live, and it's right after this short break.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
You're here, it's cold. The dodgy pies are 3 weeks old. You're the cream of the crop. You're the cream of the crop. 'Cause you're the real fan. You're the real fan. You're the best thing in football. You're the real fan. You're the real fan.
Of course, I used to be a biker. Great days.
Yeah, man. The freedom.
I used to ride a Harley.
Karaoke 325.
I had a BSM A.
It's the sound of freedom.
Man, it burns through your soul.
I'll definitely do it again.
When?
Next week.
Yeah.
Great.
118-24/7.
Hello, is that Hot Wheels?
Motorcycle.
Bike. Leathers.
Guildford.
Hello.
Yellow Pages, yell.com or 118-24/7. Whatever you want, just yell.
I've won the World Cup and the European Championship. I've lifted the FA Cup twice and won the Premiership twice. But I've not won everything. This Pro Evo 4, it's too tough. I just can't win. But I will.
Pro Evolution Soccer 4. Don't rest till you beat the best.
Hello? Boss? Yeah, I'm still very sick. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Free inside today's Daily Star. Get Volume 1 of your Brit Hits triple album, packed with big names. It's free inside today's Daily Star.
Buy a Coke. And you can win a player worth $250,000 for your club.
The new GS from Lexus takes you miles away in seconds.
Prem Plus in association with Bet365.
Later on this afternoon, it's Southampton against Chelsea on this channel, but right now, Charlton Athletic and Manchester City with Tony Cottee and Martin Tyler.
Well, this is the heat of the Premiership. There's a social aspect to the game as well. The former Liverpool teammates, Robbie Fowler and Danny Murphy, have been having a right old chinwag for the last couple of minutes and even helping each other warm up.
What if they separate when the game kicks off? They simply want to stand there talking all day.
Manchester City fans will always associate the referee Rob Styles with one of the club's most heroic performances, that FA comeback from 3-0 down last season to beat Spurs after he'd sent off Joey Barton. White Hart Lane, not a lucky ground for Barton, who needed 8 stitches in a cut above an eye at Tottenham 2 weeks ago. The culprit, Timothy Atuba, got a 3-match ban yesterday on video evidence. From high altitude down to the valley for Claudio Reyna, his last game was in the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City last weekend. Charlton kick off. There's certainly one scenario at the end of the season, which means the 7th place Premiership club will qualify for the UEFA Cup. It does involve, amongst other matters, an FA Cup final between Arsenal and Manchester United. Not out of the question. Charlton are currently in 7th place, which is where they did finish last season. Musampa. Long by Stephen Jordan. And Chris Perry cross. And rather hustled into conceding a corner that he wasn't happy about, whether he thought he was fouled or didn't get the last touch, but an early corner it is for Stuart Pearce's Manchester City.
Just tried to usher it out, Chris Perry, but as poor defending really should have dealt with it. And good pressure from Joey Barton.
And really crowding Dean Kiely, who is a goalkeeper who likes to leave the aerial stuff to his defenders. Forward by Thomas. And here is Murphy. Konchesky, versatile, has got a job in midfield in this Charlton formation. David James pleased to be playing again after a couple of games on England's bench. Perry. Been an injury hit season both for him and for Mark Fish. But they're back in harness today. And here we are in April. And it's this pairing for the first time in Charlton senior side this season. Led by the regular left-back, Hreidarsson, who's been on his travels with his country, Iceland. Trying to locate Sean Bartlett through the middle. Jordan has got good height. Konchesky. Murphy trying to make his way into some space. Having done so, he couldn't find Luke Young. Well, Stuart Pearce, he was promoted over 3 weeks ago now. He's had to wait for his second game after losing to a late goal in another part of London, White Hart Lane, in his inaugural match as manager of Manchester City. Well, you know what he was like as a player, and I can tell you he's exactly the same as a man. Very forthright and straight to the point. It's a Rayner crossing. By Musampa, and Dean Kiely did very well to get it up and over.
Excellent reaction save, wasn't it? Great play all round from Man City. Good ball from Dunne. Rayner does everything right. Possibly handball there, but he comes inside. Great ball. What a great run from Musampa. Just attacks the space. Nice height for the goalkeeper, though.
Well, again, they get to players in and around Dean Kiely as Robbie Fowler puts the corner in. The header's gone in, and it's Richard Dunne. And Manchester City are off to a flyer.
It was poor defending from Charlton, isn't it? But what Manchester City do well, they get 5 players inside the 6-yard box. There they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's done with the header. It comes off the defender on the line. Is it Danny Murphy on the line? Just flicked. There he is, Danny Murphy. He will want to claim that, though. Great header from Dunne, possibly off Hreidarsson as well. Might need a bit of sorting out, but defenders don't want it. I would give that one to Richard Dunne.
Oh, here comes Johansson. But it's splendid for Stuart Pearce, because it's the first time that Manchester City have gone in front under his management. And here goes John Macken. Sibierski looking to get it quickly into the feet of Robbie Fowler. It certainly looked Dunne, Hreidarsson, Murphy back of the net was the route that the ball took.
Certainly looked that order to me, but as I said, Martin, as a defender, certainly Hreidarsson and Murphy won't want to claim it. I think you should give it to Richard Dunne. Good play, good defensive header. Give it to the forward.
Well, if it is his goal, it is his very first in the Premiership.
Oh, we'll be claiming it all right then. He doesn't want it, does he? He certainly doesn't, although he had the last touch.
Richard Dunne has actually got a good international goal-scoring record. He scored 4 times for the Republic of Ireland, but somehow goals have eluded him. I was at West Brom recently, where he thrashed in a free kick that was ruled out contentiously because the whistle hadn't been blown for him to strike the ball.
Yeah, that looked a poor decision, that one, to me. Like, the great striker of the ball, isn't he? He's certainly an asset. And free kicks, just smashing the ball as hard as possible. He's good in the air as well. Just the start Stuart Pearce would have wanted, there's no doubt about that.
Jordan. And Dunne's still forward.
He's doing silky touches now after that goal. A bit unlucky there. They're having a laugh and a joke about it.
Well, Charlton might not know this statistic, but no wins in the last 25 games when they conceded the first goal.
Well, I think after the last time performance, there's no doubt that Anne Kirbishley would have said that at least get off to a good start, lads. Don't concede an early goal. You're the home team. Take the match to Manchester City. Conceded an early one, he'd be very disappointed. He'll be delighted.
Sibierski. Passed it to Fowler, charged down by Flsh. Charlton would have looked at the games either side of Easter. Home to West Brom, home to Manchester City is 6 points to press their European complaints. 3 of those points have gone to the Hawthorns, and although Johansson did score in that match, they were comprehensively beaten late on. Of course, played much of the game with 10 men with El Kakuri sent off. Konchesky went a long way.
Fantastic bowling, isn't it? He's aiming for Bartlett. Doesn't think about anything else, just whips it in. Good run from Matt Holland, just a little bit too late. And just ball across.
Macken. Dealt with by Flsh. South African Bartlett has been back to South Africa to play an international against Uganda last weekend. Flsh has just been concentrating on getting his fitness after a long time out with knee trouble. The last time Manchester City were here was right at the beginning of last season, and they won 3-0.
Thinking about that already, and made a very positive start to this match. A good header from Musampa, didn't we, and the goal as well. Certainly started the brighter of the two teams.
Dean Kiely's a tremendous shot stopper, but it is a bit of an issue about his style of goalkeeping, and obviously Stuart Pearce has done his homework, that he does like to stay on his line and use those reflexes, but that of course depends on his teammates winning the headers when the opposition had their set pieces, which they patently didn't do a few moments ago.
They had enough bodies there, but they just didn't deal with it. But credit to Manchester City for putting so many players forward into that 6-yard area.
Perry. They have defended very well under Kevin Keegan for most of the season, Manchester City. They have a plus goal difference, even though they're in the lower half of the table. Onuoha has been promoted. Had a few outings when Danny Mlllls was suspended under Kevin Keegan, but Stuart Pearce, who obviously has had an overview as a coach at the club of the potential and the youngsters that they have, has gone for Onuoha. The ball's played inside in here, and Thomas does get there. It's a terrific cross, and it's an absolute gift for Bartlett. It's 1-1. And we've got a match on our hands at the Valley.
We certainly have. I think it's poor defending though from Manchester City. Fantastic build-up play from Charlton. Excellent skill from Konchesky. Watch this. Through the legs of Sibierski. Lovely ball as well. But Bartlett doesn't attack the near post. That's what you'd expect him to do. Not quite sure what David James is doing. And his poor goalkeeping just leaves Distin with no chance, because he sort of takes his hand away. Simple tap-in for Bartlett, isn't it? Watch David James there. I think he's got to do better. He actually slips, doesn't he? His feet give way, comes off Distin. Sean Bartlett will never score an easier goal.
So 1-1 inside the opening 10 minutes. Jerome Thomas making the goal. And Alan Kirbishley worked in training yesterday on getting Charlton down their left-hand side. Maybe anticipating there would be an inexperienced right-back, or a right-back that he would know very well in Danny Mlllls, a former employee of Charlton Athletic. And they certainly put the theory into practice very quickly at a time of need.
I think good managers do their homework. Manchester City obviously done their homework with regards to Kiely that we mentioned from the corner, and Charlton as well. Good ball inside the right back, which created the goal.
Murphy. Sean Bartlett gets his 8th goal of the season. He is Charlton's leading scorer. They're probably lacking that one crucial ingredient of a player who's a 15 to 20 goal a season man, a Tony Cottee. Sorry, I'm underselling you there, aren't you? 25, 30 goals a season?
In the good days, Martin, yeah. Not towards the end of my career. But I think there's always a lot of pressure on the lone front man. very, very difficult role to play. But I think Bartlett's a good player. If you do play the lone front man, you've got to get Murphy and people forward, and they do it well, Charlton. It's certainly a system that suits them.
The point you made right at the beginning, Tony, about this, whether it's 4-5-1 or 4-3-3, well, when you've got Johansson from one side, Thomas from the other supporting Bartlett, then you have got three out-and-out attackers, and obviously that is what Charlton want to see more of in this game.
Well, I think it's something that Chelsea do very well, don't they? They play it as a 4-3-3. When you're away from home, you can play as a 4-5-1, but as the home team, it's so important to play as a 4-3-3. But he's a master coach, isn't he, Alan Kirbishley? Done a fantastic job at Charlton.
Yes, the club is very much shaped in Alan Kirbishley's own image, disciplined and organised, extremely hard-working, dedicated. What progress Charlton have made under his wise counselling. Distance header. Beyna didn't play in the USA's second game, having worked so hard in the Azteca Stadium, a rarefied atmosphere with no altitude preparation for it. He's missed most of the season with a thigh problem, so whichever part of the world there's a game going, he's pleased to be involved.
Might test his fire today with all that travelling.
Hreidarsson comes out to Jordan. Saw Fowler, but might have fired it at him. Konchesky furthest forward here, but Dunne deals with it. That's done by Beyna. It's it back from Macken, who's a good player with his back to the goal. Musampa, on loan from Atletico Madrid in the Premiership. Macken. Musampa's gone to the near post. Beyna, who scored at Spurs, crosses here. Fowler.
Oh, he's unlucky. I think it might have deflected as well. If it does take a deflection, it's a good save from Dean Kiely. There's a slight deflection, just bounces off the pitch. Good save.
Yeah, that's the other side of Kiely, and that's why he's held down his job here at Charlton for so many years. Goalkeeper who was born in Manchester.
He's a good shot stopper. What he isn't 6'5" like most goalkeepers are nowadays. But he's an excellent shot stopper. Not a bad golfer as well. I played golf with him the other day, Martin. He won the tournament.
I hope he shared the prize with you.
No, he didn't.
Hreidarsson. He's giving it straight to Antoine Sibierski. Rob Styles playing the advantage as Fowler went down. Beyna. Onuoha coming up on the outside. Played here before Nedum and Onuoha, and actually scored a goal for England under 20s earlier this season. Hreidarsson. Konchesky. It's a bit straight. Making a diagonal run in from the left-hand side, but the ball skipping away from him, and it's going to be a test of the energy levels, particularly those who've done a lot of travelling over the past few days, playing for their countries, like Sean Bartlett.
I think it's always a problem when you've been away on international duty, but even more so with the weather, because it does sap your energy, makes it even more difficult to recover from the travelling in midweek.
Musampa has made a very lively beginning in keeping with the game. Fowler, Macken uses strength and can't get round Dean Kiely.
I think he's got a score. There's a slip from Chris Perry coming up. It's a lovely ball from Robbie Fowler. There's a slip from Perry. I think he just gets caught in two minds, Macken. Really should take it first time. Eventually tries to take it round the keeper. Good save, but really should be 2-1 up for Man City.
Yeah. Very open first 15 minutes. Bartlett, as the scoreline reflects. Distin. Musampa. Beyna. Wide right. There's Sean Wright-Phillps. He's on the way back. He's doing a bit of running in training. He's ahead of schedule. And such a vibrant young man, I'm sure, will be back as quickly as possible. Hreidarsson's throw. This down tight on Bartlett. Everything on target at the moment, including a goal apiece.
Sure, it won't stay that way.
Hreidarsson's throw. Was waiting, the flag actually has gone up, and the follow-up by Hreidarsson was academic. Oh, and it's Macken now, he's got another chance, and again Kiely thwarts him. Manchester City will be looking up at 2-1, but at 3-1, given the openings of that quality for John Macken.
Well, this time he should have dinked it over the keeper. Wonderful play, great 1-2 between the two forwards. He's just got to chip it over Kiely. The credit to the keeper, he's out very, very quickly. Another good save, but Macken should have 2 goals to himself. I wonder where this corner's going.
Right in the mix-up. Hreidarsson, who is charged with attacking the ball, certainly did so. Covering, and he was just clipped by Thomas. But, you know, John Macken's only scored 2 goals in his career in the Premiership, and he could have doubled that tally here today.
He could have. I think he's just trying to side-foot it into the bottom corner. He actually saved it with his feet, Kiely. Doesn't matter how you save them. It's good goalkeeping from the point of view he got off his line so quickly. But as a forward, you're so disappointed if you've got a 1v1 with a goalkeeper. Free shot on goal, you really feel you should score. He knows that as well, doesn't need me to tell him that.
Macken again. Yes. To Konchesky, still fighting to get Manchester City back on the ball. Dunne. Raid. One back cleanly by Murphy, but the ball has got Bartlett just a stride or two too far forward.
Just offside, I think. A good play from Danny Murphy. He really looks in the mood for it today. Close, isn't it? Very, very close. Lines across the pitch should help the assistant. Certainly had no doubt on that one.
W66888M. Please return to your vehicle immediately.
The defending has been a problem for Charlton all season. It's really quite amazing when you see some of their results, how high they are in the table. When they have a bad day, they've been very bad. And Manchester City will have remembered that from the meeting in August. And it's enough for Alan Kirbishley to have a word with Keith Peacock, assistant manager. Just wonder whether they've been taken a little bit by surprise by City playing a second striker in Macken. Not played that way at Tottenham, where Sibierski came a supporting player from midfield, but really is one of a midfield 5.
I don't think they'd have been too surprised, because they would have got the team sheet what and how before kick-off, and they would have known with Macken and Fowler on the team sheet that they would play 4-4-2 Man City, but it is causing them problems, as is their slick passing in midfield. Charlton at the moment just struggling to get hold of the ball and make it work for them.
But Musampa. Manchester City's throw. John Macken really made a name for himself outside the top division with Preston, having been a trainee at Manchester United in his youth. Still striving to really prove himself in the top division.
I think he probably needs a run of games in the team. That doesn't help if you are in and out of the teams. your team that you're playing in, you need that run, you need 10, 12 games, and then I think you can judge a player. If a lot of your appearances are a substitute, it's very difficult to say whether he can or can't score goals in the Premiership. But as I mentioned, he's had 2 glorious chances and really should have taken one of them.
Jordan's throw. Macken. Foul. He's able to take it down unchallenged, which made the mistake with the pass. Little less excusable. Murphy trying to get it in behind Distin. He's got good speed of recovery. Dunne. He skimmed off Murphy, one of a number of players that Alan Curbishley invested in last summer. Some of whom, like Murphy, have earned their corn, others who've been on the sidelines and in the side. And here's Rayner. Well, he gets a corner, but again Manchester City will be thinking, how have we not scored?
Did he touch it? I think it's Hreidarsson. Great ball from Robbie Fowler. He misjudges it the first time, Hreidarsson. Just the slightest of deflections, isn't it? Just takes it away. I think it would have gone in otherwise. Good strike from Rayner. You don't get it the first time, Hreidarsson, you've got to get it the second, and he did. He'll be thinking, how many more chances do we need before we get this second goal?
They'll be hopeful in this sort of scenario, but they come for a short call. It hasn't worked out initially. And Barton got it back, trying to tee up Macken, and then it's another corner from the Fowler shot as Manchester City pile on the pressure again. As always, Manchester City have plenty of travelling support. Dunne. Perry gets it away for the moment, but Richard Dunne, good change of direction. Young. Now Konchesky. Holland can't hold it. Charlton out of sorts. Very lucky to be level at the moment. Probably Manchester City want a chance or two to fall to Robbie Fowler.
I think he's the main man, isn't he? You've just got to get him in the right positions at the moment. Robbie's all-round game is excellent, but he's not in that 6-yard box or the 18-yard box where you know he's most dangerous. He's creating for others.
Musampa, who has had an opportunity himself. Sibierski, a long way out. It's a decent strike. Kiely had a good view of it. Murphy. Again, Charlton can't build. It's no exaggeration to say this really could be out of sight for Charlton. Manchester City had taken their opportunities even at this early stage, and Stuart Pearce must be mixing pleasure at the way his team are playing with the frustration that they are not turning that football into goals or more goals.
I think as an away team in the Premiership, you've just got to take the chances, even more so than if you're the home team. And they've had, what, 3-4 clear-cut chances since they got their first goal, haven't taken them. Stuart Pearce knows that. He knows you've got to take your chances. They really should be out of sight.
A new meaning to the expression, a piercing look. Hreidarsson.
Well, it looks to me that Charlton might have gone to 4-4-2 now. Johansson looks like he's pushed up front alongside Bartlett. Alan Curbishley's trying to go line for line. No doubt City have had the better of this opening spell. We're just going to try and compete by going 4-4-2 against them.
Macken. But I thought Sibierski was closer to it. Holland. Breakaway that got Bartlett the equaliser. It was a rare good moment for the home side so far. Raider. Oh, Sibierski. There's Holland going down, complaining to the referee that he was pushed. Murphy. Keeping count of these attempts for you. Manchester City, supposedly with little to play for in terms of league position, but a new manager to try and impress. They must be impressing him.
Yeah, it tells the story though, doesn't it? 5 shots on target and only the 1 goal. They're certainly working hard for their new manager at the moment.
But here's Raider. Musampa, I must say, I've seen quite a few of Musampa's game for Manchester City, and he's made more runs off the left touchline in this game than he has in his previous games. I suppose someone who's a good left footer as a manager might help, and he's using the left foot.
I think he's kicking every ball, isn't he? Fantastic passion for the game. What you see of him as a manager is exactly how he was as a player. Fantastic passion for the match.
Murphy, nicely knocked back by Bartlett. Thomas, it's deflected. It would be so unjust, really, if Charlton got in front. But that's a situation Manchester City are in because of their profligacy at the other end. So Messrs Fish and Perry jog forward. Tony Murphy to deliver the corner. Andersen is very good at attacking the ball from the back post. There are 3 others in there close to the corner taker. Came off Onuoha's head and Barton. 20 years since Manchester City last completed a league double over Charlton, but they had the chance to do that here today, and a good chance the way it's looked so far.
They've got to keep it going, haven't they? Can't worry about those missed chances. All the team will know that they should be winning this match, but they're not. Just got to keep playing their football. I believe that that goal will come.
I'll be worn out, Stuart Pearce. I'm sure he's doing more on the in the technical area than he ever did on the pitch, and he did plenty on the pitch. What he can't do is tackle anybody.
He will do if they come near enough, Martin. Don't worry about that.
Bartlett. Konchesky. This stands recovered well. Doing all his coaching qualifications, biding his time for management. Of course, he did have a little dabble at it with Nottingham Forest towards the end of his time at the City Ground. So I feel that there's been a bit of pent-up emotion in there waiting for this opportunity. Musampa. Jordan. Now Murphy. Konchesky. Playing like a team that have never met each other before, Charlton, really. But some of that is down to the work of Manchester City.
I think it's nearly all down to the work of Manchester City, because they've just put Charlton under pressure. They put them on the back foot. They know full well that they lost their last home game 4-1, and when that happens, you, as a player, you go into the next match, you are a bit worried about how you're going to be. And the fans as well, just a little bit anxious, I think it's fair to say at the moment. So Man City have done their homework, and they're certainly playing well enough.
And they are Charlton fans who have seen several seasons tail away with poor results. Their campaign almost effectively has finished a month earlier than some of their rivals. Konchesky has been working really hard to try and make sure that's not going to happen in this season with the big opportunity to get into Europe. There's another little cameo of how difficult it is for Charlton to get going here. Musampa. Jordan in for Ben Thatcher, who's on his way back to fitness as well. He should start training on Monday. Steve McManaman, another one who's missing with a muscle strain. So he hasn't got too many options, Stuart Pearce, if he wants to change things around over the last few Manchester City games. Onuoha. Perry. Bartlett. Murphy. It's a good climb by Chris Perry. Tight on John Macken. Charlton need to do a bit more of that. Murphy. Young. Reyna's trying to get involved centrally wherever he can. Well, Danny Murphy impedes Barton.
Certainly a foul for me. Joey Barton saying I'm clearing on goal. There's great skill. Takes it first time. There's Murphy. Not a lot he can do about it. It's definitely a foul though.
Well, Charlton frowns, and understandably so, but it is 1-1. That's about the best news for them at the moment. Certainly the shape of the game, they're distinctly second best. And a very eventful opening half an hour. 2 goals in the first 10 minutes if you switched on late. Dunne and Hreidarsson together as they were when Manchester City took the lead. Sibierski, Dunne. Bartlett getting some good distance to his header, back by Rayner. Distin with a flip. Fish. One of the bigger Charlton cheers as Bartlett volleyed forward. He's actually a very good defender, Sean Bartlett. And particularly in away games for Charlton, does a lot of good work back at set pieces. And this is a bit like an away game for them. They've had so little impact on the shape of proceedings.
The good news is it's still 1-1.
Yeah, it's hard to remind yourself of that. And here's Hreidarsson. Put out by Onuoha. Murphy, Young. A couple of goals earlier in the season. Continued his run. Down goes Thomas. Put there by Jordan.
Again, no doubt about the foul. Just there a little bit quicker. Foul from Jordan.
Well, Paul Konchesky earlier played in a very well angled ball from that far side with his left foot.
I think he'll do exactly the same here. We're looking for the likes of Hreidarsson and Bartlett queuing up at the far post.
Ready to make their runs, maybe in behind the likes of Sibierski and Macken there. Ball doesn't get that far. Jordan saw to that. Konchesky. Out by Distin. And not much of a Charlton challenge. That's what the crowd were agitated about. Murphy. A double header on the Prem Plus today. Southampton against the would-be champions Chelsea. Southampton with plenty of reasons to do well themselves today. That's 5 o'clock. Same channel, Prem Plus. Well, Bartlett claiming that he was pushed, or maybe that there was a handball there.
It might well have been a bit of both.
Distin. Charlton wins the header. Musampa gets his foot to it. 50-50s again. Manchester City coming out on top. Beyna, Barton, Macken. Quite enough on the pass to get Beyna actually in at goal. But he sets up Sibierski. Good block by Holland. Konchesky. Andersen brought down by Dunne, who was just looking at the referee a moment or two earlier.
I think there's a push, and there's the hand, definite hand. Got away with it.
It was a big decision, wasn't it? Because he was the last man. Yep. Here's Fowler. And Hreidarsson helped Chris Perry out.
Been impressed with the front two today for Man City. I know Macken should have scored the goals, but the link-up play between the two forwards, that's what you always look at as a manager. How are the front two linking up? And their little 1-2s, touch and movement as well has been excellent.
It's nice to see a team playing with two out-and-out attackers.
It is, Martin, yeah. I mean, I must admit I've been disappointed with how many teams have played just the one up front this season. Nice to see City playing with the two men.
It's in, and it is a chance for Fowler, and he's taken it. And again, Charlton statuesque, not just in their own penalty area, but in their own goal area.
It's from another corner, isn't it? Everyone stands and watches it, except one man, and he's made a career out of it, and he's a fantastic goal scorer. The run from Fowler just expects everyone to miss it, and that's why it goes in the back of the net, because everyone thinks it's just going to go out. Just pushes it into the back of the net. There's his run, loses Chris Perry. Just forces the ball in. We did say if he gets a chance, he might well score.
He has.
And they do deserve it as well, don't they?
Absolutely. No more than Manchester City merit here. They're back in front at the Valley. Gets easily angered, Alan Kirbishley, but he might have some strong words for his players at half-time.
I was just thinking exactly the same thing, Martin. I mean, they've been second to every ball. It's not that they don't want to do it,
coach.
Yeah, but I would have thought he just can't wait to get him in at half-time. It's been a poor performance from Charlton, but let's not take anything away from Manchester City. They've been outstanding. But from a Charlton point of view, I think Alan Kirbishley want to get them in the dressing room, sit them down and have a right go at them and tell them, you're playing for a place in Europe, lads. They really need to pick it up in the second half.
And from Stuart Pearce's point of view, 2 goals from corners.
Well, I'm sure they would have worked on it.
Bartlett's flick, his equaliser in between. To try and come again. Bartlett. Holland venturing a bit further forward than we've seen. Bartlett bangs it across. Thomas is coming in from the right-hand side. Konchesky. Hreidarsson making a bit of ground. Murphy. Fowler and with Anelka maybe, but not without him. This has been part of the changing scenario involving Manchester City over this season. Sibierski. Free kick for Charlton. In the match programme today, there was a report, a nostalgic look back on a famous game that finished 7-6 here, Charlton against Huddersfield back in the 1950s. Well, we're not going to quite approach that, but we certainly had the chances.
We've had the chances for the away team to get 6, but not the home team to get 7, I don't think. We need better delivery from Konchesky here. Might have a shot from that distance.
Debate between Konchesky and Murphy. Rob Stiles is ready. Konchesky moves away. Danny Murphy definitely the man. Two City players going for the same ball. If David James has to come with the fist, and it was a good one. Luke Young finding himself across here. Outmanoeuvred. Murphy's had to fill in at right back. There's a fair amount of discontent around the valley, and surprising when you look at it from a distance, and so much of the good work that Alan Kirby's has done. There is just one issue that they're concerned about here. Franny Jetfers, fans would like to see more of him playing. He's been a victim of this system that Charlton have played for most of the season, or for a good part of the season, a 4-5-1. He's watching and waiting, using his Liverpudlian good humour to try and keep his chin up.
I think he just wants to play football, doesn't he? In his day, he's a very good goal scorer. There's nothing worse than being on the bench all the time. That's been the case for him for quite a long time now.
But with Charlton having switched to playing 2 up.
Well, he might get his chance in the second half. With Johansson now pushing up front alongside Bartlett. Might well be room for Franny Jetfers in the second half.
Perry. Distin, took by Musampa.
I told you he'd try and make a tackle. Trying to head that one, wasn't he?
Here's Hreidarsson. Konchesky's cross is a challenging one. Almost as devastating as that early ball from Jerome Thomas that led to the one Charlton goal.
Better defending though, wasn't it? This time from Richard Dunne. Didn't let it go past the first man.
Moving towards added time before half-time at the Valley. James neither caught nor really punched. Konchesky. Murphy. Goes down well by Barton. Musampa. Just one added minute. Well, given the high temperatures here in southeast London, I must say the game's been played at a very fast rate, particularly by Manchester City FC.
I think it's been a very good performance so far. Manchester City, poor from Charlton, but credit to Man City, played very well right from the start. Can they maintain it for the 90 minutes, because it will get a lot warmer, I'm sure, in the second half, and all they'll be doing at half time is just ruin a couple of the chances that they've missed. They really should be 3 or 4 goals up.
Dunne certainly got his hands full with the presence of Bartlett, if Charlton can get the ball up there. So hard to do. Last action of the first half. Young's long throw was dealt with. And thanks to a typical piece of Robbie Fowler finishing, Manchester City properly go in at half-time in front. It would have been even better, a couple of really good chances for John Macken that Dean Kiely kept out. And Kiely served Charlton well in a very disappointing half for the outfield players. Macken will be ruining on those misses. City led with Dunne's double deflected header. Bartlett tapped in the equaliser, and at half-time at the Valley, with plenty to talk about during the half-time break, it's Charlton 1, Manchester City 2.
Well, just about as one-sided a half as you could wish to see, yet incredibly Charlton are still in it. We'll have Gary McAllister's thoughts after the break. Robbie Fowler's goal the difference between the two sides, his 10th in 14 appearances against the Addicts.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
This Wednesday, a huge Champions League double. Can Mourinho keep his grip on the trophy? Chelsea's quest for a fantastic treble continues.
It gets better and better for Chelsea.
Against a formidable Bayern Munich. 6 p.m. Sky Sports 1 and on Sky Sports 2. The clash of the Milan giants. AC versus Inter. A great night of Champions League football. It all starts Wednesday, 6 p.m. Sky Sports 1.
Welcome. A drink?
Carlsberg don't do takeaways, but if they did, they would probably be the best takeaways in the world.
Plaque is a major cause of gum disease. Fortunately, Listerine can reduce the build-up of plaque by half, compared to brushing alone. Listerine, great news for everybody, except dentists.
I'm not a gangster. No, I'm not a thug. No, I'm not into trying to be hard. If you ask me about that on the basketball court, then I say, yeah, I'm hard, I'm tough on the basketball court. But off the court, that ain't who I want my kids to feel like their daddy is. That's just my environment. That's where I came from. I can't be somebody else. All I can be is the best Allen Iverson that I can be.
Save £20 on this self-propelled petrol mower. It's price reversed to under £130. Knew you'd be pleased.
You may wish you had someone to help you keep fit. You might like free clothes for a year. Or to eat out every weekend, on the house. Every time you use your Visa debit or credit card, you could win one of many everyday prizes. You could even get free taxis for a year. For all kinds of everyday prizes, use your Visa debit or credit card by June the 1st.
You were made for me. Everybody tells me so. You were made for me. Don't pretend that you
Don't risk getting stuck with the wrong partner. With thousands of cars locally every week, it couldn't be easier to find your perfect partner in Auto Trader.
What are you doing, dear? You said we could save money on our home insurance with a mouse in a net. No, dear, the internet. We just visit esure.com, and in a few clicks we cut out the middleman and could save ourselves a tidy sum. That's much. So where's this mouse? Meet Mr. Mouse. Calm down, dear, it's only a mouse. Oh, esure.com, it pays to let your mouse protect your house.
Sometimes the end is just the beginning.
Your planet has been blown up. Would you like a hug? No.
It's the greatest adventure in the history of the galaxy.
My word is president.
With the answer to life.
Don't talk to me about life.
The universe.
What's your name, Earthman?
And everything The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't leave Earth without it.
As a fashion designer, precision is the most important thing in many ways. Without precision, my life would fall apart. Nature aspires to perfection. Nature achieves perfection. I look at nature, nature looks back at me and says, yes, you too have achieved precision and perfection.
Oh, it's already running, sir.
I can't hear it.
Apparently not.
The all-new Ford Focus.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
Football coming up later this afternoon on this channel. Southampton against Chelsea. More information, call 08705 160 160. This evening, Villarreal against Athletic Bilbao from 10 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. Half-time at the Valley, and Manchester City lead Charlton by 2-1. It could easily be 4-1, if not more. To what degree have Manchester City been excellent and Charlton simply awful?
Well, I think right from the start, right from the off, Man City have got the ball down, they've passed it, and what we spoke about right at the top of the show was if they get the ball into Macken and Fowler and go and support it, they should be able to get some passes going. And what they have done, they've done that. They've got it into feet and they've went and joined it. But there's been some lovely interplay between Macken and Fowler. Man City will be wishing that Fowler was the one getting the last touch, you know, because Macken's had 2 wonderful chances to put the game out of sight. But what I've also liked as well, when they've been good in the left side, Manchester City, Rayna's kept a great position wide in the right. Whenever it's got tight in the left, they've been able to switch the play and get into Rayna and then start playing again.
Both City goals have come from corners. A question mark was being posed against Kiely.
You know, they've singled it out, they've made it a crowd scene here, but there's no way the keeper can go through. There's 5, 6, maybe even 7 bodies in front of him. The keeper's got no chance here.
And is it a Richard Dunne goal or an own goal?
Sorry to say, Dunne. I think that comes off for Hreidarsson. You know, Danny Murphy gets deceived by that as well, but as you can see there, the header's going wide, so it's Dunne's missed it again.
Well, Jeff Shreeds had a quick word with Richard Dunne, who was denied a goal at West Brom a few weeks ago. He's insisting that he's going to claim this.
He must claim it, but whether he'll get it, we'll need to wait till to see the Sunday papers tomorrow.
No doubt about the equaliser, but an unfortunate slip from David James. This is almost typical Manchester City domination, and then one
Marcus,
unfortunate error.
This was a breakaway. You know, the home side here, this was a break. You know, it's a great ball across. David James slips, and I think that just deceives Distin. I think Distin would have cleared it, but I think that David James just slipping in front of him puts him off, and he can only just get his foot on it, and there's no an easier chance than that. I think the young fullback was just caught ball watching a touch. He just allowed the Jerome Thomas to get away from him. Could have done a wee bit better.
Well, you'd have thought that Charlton would have recovered after that. Not a bit of it. City kept knocking on the door, and Robbie Fowler finally got on the end of a chance, which is what they wanted.
It's another set piece, and for all their great play and their interpassing and their little combinations, they've scored from 2 set pieces, and it just shows you, you know, at every level of football, how important they are. I think Danny Murphy, if he had been right on the post, you know, he could maybe have done a wee bit better, but I think it flashes up into the roof of the net, and even if he'd been right on the post.
Yeah, because he was clinging to the post for the first goal, but there was a little gap there.
Generally the job is, you know, to hold that post, not necessarily to get trapped and held against it. It's just to be on the post and protect what's inside you. But I think the ball actually goes right up and above him. I don't know if he could have done much more.
What is Alan Kirbystead going to be saying to his side? We spoke beforehand about how close they've come to Europe in the past, and it's gone wrong for them. They let in 4 against West Brom last time, and they're having a nightmare so far today.
Well, I think this 11 today hasn't worked. You know, they've not competed with Manchester City at all. You know, I think the biggest tribute to Man City is that Charlton have changed 2 or 3 times. They've changed their shape 2 or 3 times. So I think now they've got to maybe change some personnel. Franny Jetfers is the one that you might think he can go on. He's got a bit of pace and cause a bit of bother. But first and foremost, they've got to compete, because as well as Manchester City have played when they've got the ball, I think City have been excellent when they don't have the ball, and that's what Charlton have got to be. They've got to be in Man City's face a wee bit more.
Well, the only good thing for Charlton is that they are somehow still in the game. Contrasting emotions for the 2 managers. He looks distinctly concerned. Stuart Pearce has been living it all, and he's winning at the moment.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
A flying rock! Archaeologist!
We have kidnapped your son. Follow instructions and Bart will not be harmed.
Follow instructions! He's doomed!
The Simpsons, new episode tomorrow at 6:30 after a classic episode at 6 on Sky One.
Bring it on down. Raise your hands
buy a Coke. And you can win a player worth $250,000 for your club.
Imagine a world where loyalty is rewarded. Where it's not just the new customer who gets the latest deal. Where it's you, the existing customer, who feels new and wanted. It's about time your loyalty was rewarded. O2, a world that revolves around you.
This Sunday in the Sunday Times, it's the most exclusive club in the country. And this year, you'll need £50 million to join. Find out who's in and out of the Sunday Times Rich List. The definitive look at the 1,000 richest people in Britain. Free, only in the Sunday Times.
Hey, you didn't type in your password.
Don't have to. Biometrics.
What?
Wherever I am, I just swipe, password goes in, I'm connected. Biometrics.
A bionic finger, cool. It's like 10 times stronger than a regular finger.
No, it's for passwords. No, it's more like na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Better.
Secure wireless made easy. Only on a ThinkPad with Intel Centrino mobile technology.
It's about time your loyalty was rewarded. Only O2 Pay and Go customers get 10% off their top-ups back every 3 months. Just text REWARD to 50202. A world that revolves around you.
Lapels! Finger.
One foot scrapbook. He has. Have you?
A special guest appearance.
I know Donkey.
Oh my God, Donkey's coming!
With Eddie Murphy as the voice of Donkey.
Put your eyeballs back in your head. It's really me.
Brand new Father of the Pride. Tomorrow, 7:30, Sky 1.
Prem Plus, in association with Bet365.
Live football tomorrow, Fulham and Portsmouth on this channel from 1 o'clock. Super Sundays at the Hawthorns, West Brom against Everton, 3 o'clock Sky Sports 1. And it's Albacete against Real Madrid tomorrow evening from 7:30 on Sky Sports 1. And we're at St Mary's right now because later this afternoon it's Southampton against Chelsea on this channel from 5 o'clock with kick-off at 5:15. But for now we're concentrating on Charlton and Manchester City at the Valley. City leading by 2-1 at half-time. It should be more, and if John Macken had been a little more ruthless in front of goal, it would be more.
Absolutely. You know, this is some great play again. Into Musampa's here. He plays into Fowler's feet. Lovely spin by Macken. You know, you can see him thinking here what he's going to do. An instinctive striker, a striker in form, and maybe a striker who's playing more regular. It's a goal before the keeper even gets set. But he gets caught in two minds, maybe he gets caught in the middle of his feet. But here again, the two strikers linking up beautifully again. Great ball by Robbie. Keeper goes down a wee bit earlier this time. I thought he could have just lifted it. And there's no doubt in my mind, having worked with Robbie Fowler, that he would have punished Charlton for those two mistakes at the back there. And as we predicted, I think there's Jetfers.
Jetfers is on fortune, is also on for Charlton. Both tactical, no surprise as far as you're concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think tactics come into it at this moment in time. I think first and foremost, Charlton have got to get some tackles in and just compete first before they start thinking about tactics. And then they've got to get a hold of the ball and try and make some passes.
Well, I'm sure that Alan Kirbishley is simply relieved that after that dreadful 45 minutes,
still in the game.
Still in
which
the
is,
game. And the fortune's on for Flsh, by the way, Gary.
And I think if Stuart Pearce and the Manchester City boys go back on that coach, come heading back up to Manchester after this game, without the 3 points, they'll be absolutely gutted because they've played some brilliant football in that first half and the game should be over.
Well, they might be battered and bruised by the time Stuart Pearce is finished with them. Let's rejoin Tony Cotty and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Marcus. So those two changes for Charlton. Still the debate goes on about Richard Dunne's goal or not. We've heard Gary McAllister's expert view. Herman Hreidarsson wasn't the last Charlton player to touch it, so should it be a Danny Murphy own goal if it's an own goal? Up on the scoreboard here, they had no doubts that it belonged to Richard Dunne in the 4th minute. Tony Cotty, your word on it?
Absolutely a goal for Richard Dunne. If it is an own goal, it's an own goal by Danny Murphy, but let's give it to the forward. If he doesn't make the run, doesn't get his head on it, it's not going to be a goal, is it? Richard Dunne goal for me.
2 goals to Manchester City so far. There could have been several more. And now we await to see how this rejuggled Charlton approach the second half. It can only get better, you feel?
Well, it can. I think Gary McAllister made a good point there. They've got to start getting their tackles in. They've got to start being first to the ball before they can even think of getting chances on goal. But there's no doubt that Alan Kirbishley would have said that at half-time. And they've got a good option now with John Fortune coming on.
Fortune for Flsh. James punch down. It comes out to Konchesky, who can't keep it down. And Jetfers for Johansson. Just to confirm those changes for you.
They're just straight swaps, aren't they? Fortune coming on for Flsh and Jetfers on for Bartlett. But what it should do is just give a bit more impetus to this Charlton team. We were talking about in the first half, looking for his chance. He's got his chance now for Annie Jetfers. He's just got to work really hard and hope something happens for him.
There's a bad kick by James. Bartlett's got a long way to go. Jordan staying with him. It's still Bartlett, and in the end, it was a gallant effort, but no more.
Well, they can have another go at it, David James. It is a poor kick. Problem for Bartlett, he's got so far to go. He's got 3 Man City defenders breathing down his neck. I'm surprised James actually come out for that. Easily gone down, try and get a penalty.
Well, it's a cap for David James from Tim Flowers. Of course, won England caps. Tim Flowers, the goalkeeping coach at Manchester City. Hreidarsson. Pumping header by Dunne. I think what I can say for certain about that Richard Dunne effort that ended up in the back of the Charlton net, it will go before the Premier League dubious goals panel, who will make the ultimate ruling. Distin. Onuoha is a very calm young man. He's only 18 in November. I'm sure that's part of the reason that Stuart Pearce has upgraded him. Rainer's throw. Fortune now fitting in alongside Perry. So that first pairing of the season of Mark Flsh and Chris Perry only lasted 45 minutes.
It did, but it obviously wasn't working. It was all over the place at the back. Every time Man City went forward, they looked like they was going to score the goal. No surprise there's been a change for Charlton.
Together again. Beyna, he deliberately kept it low, and it didn't work, and Holland intervened. Jetfers did well, he got in front of Barton and then drew the foul.
You've done very well. That's exactly what I was talking about. You've got to work hard for your team before you get the chances at goal. Just get your body there. A little nudge, isn't it, from Barton? Go to ground, give your team a little bit of a chance to push up. Now they've got an opportunity to get it into the box.
Murphy with the free kick. Dealt with by Distin. Konchesky. Onuoha. Jetfers looking for a flick on, but it's too high for Bartlett. And Sibierski, who is more than useful in the air. It's the jump on Holland. Perry. It's very difficult as an away team at this level to sustain the sort of pressure that Manchester City had in the first half.
Well, that's right, and a lot of that was down to the fact that Charlton was so poor, and quite rightly they've come out, they've made the changes, and they've come out looking a different team at the start of this second half, which you would expect. But if Manchester City can weather the storm, then there's no reason why they can't push on towards the end of the second half and perhaps get more goals.
Holland. There's a good reach by Thomas. Konchesky. Back on the left. Beyna. Shot by Young. It's perfectly set up for the neutrals amongst you, with the home team needing to come from behind and with their eyes on a European qualification spot, but in the knowledge that as a club Charlton have probably been poorer than anybody else in the Premiership over the last 5 years, in the last month of the season. Murphy. Holland. Bartlett. Give it a run against Distin, but as we've seen several times in this match and many times this season, Distin well equipped to deal with that kind of thrust.
He's had a very good season, hasn't he, Distin? Do well to outrun him.
Murphy. Bartlett. Quite sure what he had in mind, but what was conspicuous there, Tony, the number of players Charlton had to push forward.
But they've got to get bodies forward because they've got to get this equalising goal before they can even think about getting the winner. But of course, as you push bodies forward, you're going to be vulnerable to the counter-attack. Got to take chances, though.
Musampa standing his corner. Murphy likewise, and getting Charlton the throw. Jetfers, whose only Premiership goals for Charlton Athletic came back in August, 2 in one game against Aston Villa. Young's throw. A lot at set pieces for Charlton is aimed towards the brave figure of Herman Hreidarsson. He'll put his head in.
He's a good asset, isn't he? And of course, they've got Jonathan Fulton on as well now, so you've got 2 6'4" defenders who can come up, cause havoc. They might need to resort to free kicks and corners, long throws, if they can't break Manchester City down in open play.
It's more decisive defending from Perry. Distinct absence of it from Charlton as a team in the first half. Sibierski, and Macken would have been allowed to collect it but couldn't quite get there. Well, I think Charlton have perhaps not got a grip on the game, Tony. Sibierski's playing as a central midfield player. If he does that normally, it's in a 3. He's having to do the fetching and carrying, the grafting box-to-box stuff alongside Barton. He's done it okay. He's been on the right side to do that in the dominant phase of the game for Manchester City.
He certainly has, yeah. I mean, he's a good player, isn't he, Sibierski? You mentioned about how good he is in the air as well. I think he does give them a good option, but generally as a team they've all worked together, and I think that's the big plus I think Stuart Pearce will take out of this game, regardless of what the final result is. We're all in there working as a team and working for the manager, and that's obviously what he wants to see, because he'd like to have the job permanently, no doubt.
The way the directors have said that he has the job, but there's a sort of implicit scenario that at the end of this season it might be looked at again, and Stuart Pearce knows that every Premiership minute now, between now and the end of the season, is absolutely vital for his future in the role that he clearly covets, and is going to bring a lot of passion to and a lot of knowledge as well. Fowler starting to run out of options, but he's got a free kick and might be a candidate to take it from this angle.
I think he'll fancy this one, Robbie Fowler. I thought he was excellent in the first half. Took his goal well. General all-round play. Link up with Macken as well. This is made for his left foot, I think, here. I'm sure he'll shove everyone out the way and say, I'm going to hit this one.
Third highest Premiership scorer of all time, 152 now with today's effort. Andy Cole and of course Alan Shearer, who is going to keep going for another season. Those who are chasing his achievements won't be too pleased about that. All Premiership defenders in general, but sure football fans up and down the country delighted with that news on Thursday evening. Here goes Fowler. Not quite a classic.
It was off the outside of the foot, wasn't it? Always a problem when you move the ball. He just stutters on his run up there. It's a long, long way wide, isn't it? He'll be moaning about the service. That's what you do as a forward. It's never your fault that the shot's gone off target.
Sibierski. Konchesky gets a head in for Charlton. And Musampa. Better closing down from Charlton Athletic now. Maybe heard a few home truths at half-time. The home record hasn't made this ground a fortress. They have lost 5 league games already here this season. Fortune. Distin hasn't missed much. Murphy. Nicely played by Sibierski. Musampa tried to get a bit of bend on it, didn't come.
It was the right idea, wasn't it? Just trying to whip it in behind the defence. Macken have made a good run.
Thomas taking it into trouble. Certainly made plenty of progress on a personal level this season, Jerome Thomas. Awarded with an extended contract. And Rob Stiles will want to stop this straight away.
Nasty clash between the two players. Too many more committed players than Joey Barton and Paul Konchesky. I think he caught it in the face, didn't he, Konchesky?
For reflection for the new Manchester City manager, maybe on what's gone before.
There's a disputed goal. Dunne, Hreidarsson, then Danny Murphy. One for the panel to sort out. This is the equalising goal. Certainly a slip from David James. Appears poor goalkeeping at first, but I think he did slip. And again, good finish from Robbie Fowler. Lovely run to the far post. The goal's in an excellent first half.
Well, Macken's Barton's okay. He's back on his feet and ready to come back on again. Konchesky heading for the same route.
It does seem a silly rule to me where both players have to go up. Surely if they're both okay, you could keep them both on the pitch. I think it's a rule that needs looking at.
they're both missing as Fortune takes the free kick. And now Dunne was hesitating. Rob Stiles spread his arm to say no as Jetfers went down. Here's Musampa. Next goal absolutely vital in this game. If it went to Charlton, you just wonder how whether Manchester City would be up to finishing the game as well as they started it. Just to make sure Bartlett doesn't get in. Knocked out by Jordan. If Manchester City were to widen the margin, give themselves a 2-goal cushion. Couldn't see in these conditions whether Charlton could get that.
Got a good position, didn't he, Rob Stiles? Is he in the box and does he get the ball? Oh, I'm not sure. Very, very close.
Two old club mates, of course, at Everton. Dunne and Franny Jeffers. Fortune. Konchesky. Jeffers. Very anxious to please here. Third of the game left. Fortune. On that by Jordan, who has played as a central defender in Manchester City's reserve team, and you can see those attributes at times when the ball is hung up like that. Jordan again, header. Konchesky doing his utmost, working very hard to try and get Charlton some sort of real presence in key areas of the field where really not put together a sustained spell of pressure, despite being at home, despite playing against a team below them in the league. It is a team that beat them by 4 clear goals in Manchester back in August. Could have been 4 in front here. Hreidarsson. Chesky flags up. Haven't been many offsides today.
No, he's not happy, Bartlett. Long ball just doesn't come half. If it had just come a little half a yard towards the ball, he would have been onside. I think Distin mopped up anyway.
Anticipation by Reyna. And Claudio Reyna's in here. He's got Musampa to work with, but in fact he hadn't, because Charlton closed that particular door. Musampa was just checking back, waiting for a little pass that said stick it in the net.
Well, Hreidarsson does really well, because it's his poor header in the first place, but he doesn't give up. And he tracks back. Watch him put Reyna under pressure. Superb defending in the end. Another chance for Man City though.
But another corner. It's a deep one, just too deep for Dunne. Again being marked by Hreidarsson. It never seemed to be quite in Claudio Reyna's mind to go for goal then, and just hesitating.
He had options, didn't he?
I think he knew where Musampa was.
He did, that's right, and I think that's the hesitation. That's what gave the defenders time to get back. When you get in that position, perhaps a natural finisher like Robbie Fowler, there's no doubt he would have gone for goal.
Jetfers to Murphy. And they hit it with plenty of fizz. It bounces away off James.
He had options in the middle, Danny Murphy, but I think there's only ever one thing on his mind. Thomas in the middle, but straight at David James.
Murphy to take the corner. Jetfers got a little bit on it.
He was unlucky, Jetfers, because he comes off the line, little run to the near post. Unfortunately, it's not a volley with any sort of power behind it. He's looked lively since he came onto the pitch.
One of the reasons that Danny Murphy came to Charlton was to link up with Franny Jeffers. They're great pals from, of course, their days together on Merseyside. And expected them really to work on being a combination playing in the same team, but Jetfers has had such a little game time. Murphy's been pretty much a regular. Musampa. Free kick to Manchester City.
Well, I think he's got that right, Rob Stiles. Not sure about the yellow card that looks like it's coming now. Certainly looked a foul from where he was, Rob Stiles. Maybe got a little bit of the ball. I think a free kick would have been sufficient.
I guess he didn't like the angle of the challenge as much as anything else, and Luke Young gets the yellow card. And it slightly favours a right footer this time, which Richard Dunne, who did wallop that one at West Brom and find that it was ruled out, is debating it with Fowler. Sibierski's having a say just out of your picture.
I think Dunne's going to smash this one. A little bit of doubt about the first goal.
He can smash them too. Let's run on for Distin, his fellow centre-back. Young was taking a chance. Forward by Fortune. Nice touch by Rayner. It's been a more even second half so far, but it hasn't changed the half-time scoreline. Manchester City still leading. Done away. Well, tomorrow is Fulham against Portsmouth at Prem Plus at 1. And Super Sunday, Sky Sports 1, West Brom against Everton at 3. There are a few stats around Tony. Manchester City are a first-half team. We'll see, won't we? Certainly we're a first-half team today. They were excellent. Rob Stiles with another call on his services. Again, Franny Jetfers is the Charlton player involved.
Well, I didn't think on first look that it was a penalty. It's just whether there's a challenge from behind. I don't think there's too much in that. Perhaps catches him. Certainly not a penalty.
Good work for the Charlton physio, George Cooper. Word in your ear, ref. Word in your ear, Robbie. Rob Stiles, who sent off Joey Barton in that famous FA Cup tie for dissent, actually took time later on last season to have a word with the player and just explain for another game they were involved in, and lessons have been learnt, I'm sure, from Joey Barton's point of view, but as a typical Liverpudlian, he'll still chatter on, just the use of words.
Yeah, exactly, no doubt about that. I think it's always good refereeing when you see when the referees do talk to the players. I think that's what's missing nowadays. They don't talk to the referees. The referees don't talk to the players, sorry. Jetfers seems to be okay.
Length in the throw. Hreidarsson. Macken, there's a break to the right-hand side, but it's going to take a bit of collecting by Rayner, and he can't get there at all. Ball was seemingly deflected, but the throw has gone to Charlton. At the three-quarter mark of an intriguing match in which Charlton have got a fight now. Take something from another home game, having resumed Premiership action on the back of losing 4-1 here to West Brom, which really was another stunning afternoon in the wrong sense. All connected with Charlton Athletic. Hreidarsson throws. Justice has been done here.
I think you can always tell by the reaction of the crowd and the reaction of the bench and everything. Fair play to Rob Stiles, gave it one way, realised he was wrong, gave it the other way. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
People think more of you if you admit a mistake, that's for sure. And,
absolutely.
Quick change of direction, because it could be an important throw. Manchester City deal with it. Barton, but they are starting to have to defend with greater numbers and a little bit deeper. Murphy. Another defensive header from Richard Dunne. He doesn't get a foot in, and Jetfers goes wide of him and puts Thomas in.
Oh, I think he's gone with his wrong foot. Fantastic play from Franny Jetfers. Thomas takes it with his right foot, and I think it's a left foot strike. It's a good first touch, but he's got to use his left foot there. He's not going to beat David James flicking it with the outside of his right foot. I think he should let the ball go across his body and try and strike it left foot into the far corner. Only a youngster got to learn from things like that, though.
The closest that Charlton have come to equalising for a second time. Young. That's a push by Bartlett, but a subtle one. Distin withstood it. And another challenge. He's meeting his match at the moment, Sean Bartlett. Murphy. Fowler takes it from his old pal. And looks for Macken. Helped out by Rayner, but there's no one right of him at the moment. And Macken's heading in that direction, and Barton as well. Here's Macken. Rayner scored a very sharp goal at Spurs in City's last game.
It's half a chance, wasn't it? Just don't think he quite believed that the ball would actually come to him. Just continues his run into the box. Almost tries to side foot it. Try and get a little bit more power. Looks like he miskicked it in the end.
I wonder how he'll cope in the latter stages, having to play that game in the altitude of Mexico City last weekend. Travel to, in the end, watch the USA play a second match against Guatemala he wasn't involved in, but in the journey back across the Atlantic, and short of matches generally this season.
I'll be very surprised if he plays the 90 minutes today in his weather.
Thomas, Konchesky. So far, this is good news for the likes of Bolton and Middlesbrough. Jetfers. The decision is a corner. It looked a bit of a compromise. Did Distin touch the ball?
I'm not sure he did. Again, good play from Franny Jetfers. Just helps it in behind. Does he touch it, Distin? I don't think he does. Difficult one for the assistant to give, though.
So Danny Murphy corner. Hreidarsson making the first run. He gets hurt. It's a moment of reflection by the referee before he points for another corner. Bartlett is making the challenge. Rob Stiles had a good look at that. Another Charlton shout. Second or third of this second half. Dunn's got underneath that. Misjudged by Young though. And then by Macken. Also might be feeling the pace of the game. He hasn't started many matches. And Jetfers has taken it away from Bartlett. Hreidarsson in a race with Fowler, which Fowler wins. Not going to get the free kick this time, and to be fair to Robbie Fowler, he got himself up straight away and wasn't really asking for it. Now Fortune, who have been upfield for the corner.
They're appealing for everything, aren't they, at the moment, the Charlton fans? I don't think that's about the two players either side of him made it difficult.
Charlton are going to have to dig very, very deep here. Manchester City won recently at Norwich, coming back from 2-0 down to a 3-2 success. It's their 4th away win of the season. They've been very resolute on their travels, given their often mercurial nature, drawing at Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United in the Premiership this season, and of course they remain the only club to have beaten Chelsea in the league. So even if it is to be a mid-table finish for Manchester City, there are some great moments to look back on. The first 45 minutes display here will be in amongst those.
I think that's the standard that they've set for Stuart Pearce. We're looking for them to continue that. He certainly dropped off a little bit in his second half, but you would expect that, because it was always going to be a better performance from Charlton.
Hreidarsson. Fortune. Flicked by Sibierski. Barton. Beyna. It's bounced up awkwardly. She's quite the old grass here. Brendan Powell, a former Charlton winger, is the head groundsman. Devoted to this football club. It's good enough surface for Kiely to play it short with plenty of confidence. Jetfers to Thomas. Combination that created a chance a few minutes ago. One for Holland to attack. Oh, it's come back off the bar. And no one following up. That's what the crowd are agitated about. A looping header from Matt Holland on the occasion of his 500th game in club football.
I think everyone stood and watched. He does really well, Matt Holland. Heads it back across the goal. David James thinks it's going over, I think. Hits the bar. Unfortunately for Charlton, everyone's standing watching. Franny Jetfers is the only one who's followed in. When the ball hits the bar, it's gone back behind him.
Substitution for the Addicts. Please show your appreciation to number 12.
Hreidarsson off. And it's another of the forgotten players here. Rather like Franny Jetfers. Kevin Lisbie, who's had injury problems of his own, and then when he was getting right, got sent off in a reserve game. And because Charlton's first team fixtures, by which those suspensions are judged, have been so sporadic with the international breaks and the FA Cup weekends, he's only recently been eligible to return. So Lisbie on, Jetfers on, Bartlett still on. Thomas trying to carve something out in the wide position. Murphy trying to pick holes in the Manchester City defence. Those are the options now for Alan Kirbishley's players in the last quarter of an hour of the game.
He's certainly going for it, isn't he, Alan Kirbishley? And he's got to as well, because really a draw's no good to him. He knows that. They need the 3 points.
But that's what rather happened in the West Brom game. Even though they were down to 10 men, they brought Jason Ewell on as an attacking substitution, and Ewell went in at the other end.
Well, that can often happen, Martin, can't it? I mean, you've got to go for it. You've got to put your forwards on and try and get the goals. It's just important they don't play long balls, because if you do that, you've got Dunne and Distin have been superb today. They will just mop it up. They've got to keep trying to play their football, but they need a goal and they need one quickly.
Beyna. Macken. Beyna. Sibierski. Plenty of space. Jordan. Musampa. Been a very good team effort by Manchester City, but no rewards for it as yet, as Barton tries to get the goal that probably would wrap it up. You wouldn't want to upset him, would you? You wouldn't want to be the one to let in the equaliser in the last minute.
No, that's right. But I think you'd want to play for him, though, Martin. Yeah. I think he'd be that type of manager. He would inspire you in the dressing room. There's no doubt about that. And I think he will be a good choice if he gets the job full time.
Onuoha, there he is backed. Mlllls would have loved to have played here against one of his old clubs, I'm sure. Young. Sibierski's pretty much been in the right place at the right time. Musampa, I think, has had his best game, I would say, from certainly what I've seen in his appearances since signing on loan from Atletico Madrid. Rain has obviously been a big bonus to get him fit again. A little bit too long for Macken. It's a great effort by Claudio Reyna, who must be really feeling the pace of his exertions at football grounds around the world and in aeroplanes, and the effect aeroplanes have on the system. Holland. Konchesky. Konchesky's gone to left back since Hreidarsson's gone off. Holland. Jetfers is rather running away from the ball, and a difficult pass to try and manufacture.
Well, that was the long ball I was talking about. I mentioned about Jordan playing in the left back position, played at centre half as well, so you've got three very strong players in the air. You need to work the ball along the ground.
Well, maybe some signs that Danny Mlllls will play a part here late on. Jetfers. Now Lisbie. Forces the corner. Still hope for Charlton. They've levelled it on the corner count, 6 apiece. James got a glove to it. Thomas only played it at Reyna. Nicked back by Young. Murphy. Still plenty of Charlton players forward here. And Richard Dunne. Many times have we praised him for his positional play and aerial defending in particular. Credit to Kevin Keegan when he reflects on his time and what he's done at Manchester City. One of the things he has done is he's rebuilt Richard Dunne and got what was a promising career at Everton that seemed to be going off the rails at Manchester City, very much back on track.
That's that straight long ball I was talking about. Konchesky, if you're going to do that, you might as well push John Fortune up front, at least have an option alongside Bartlett, try and win the second balls.
His header drops to Macken. Fowler lost his footing, but Manchester City kept the ball. Kevin Lisbie, you might remember from that hat-trick against Liverpool early-ish last season, he hasn't scored a home goal in the Premiership since. But here he is. There was an advantage there. It wasn't a very clear-cut one, but Stars letting the game go on. Konchesky and Lisbie with almost token challenges. Now Thomas. Jetfers trying the flick for Holland. Great when it comes off.
Well, it is, but I think as a front player, you've got to get hold of the ball. If you're winning 4-0, you do those little flicks. If you're chasing the game, you've got to try and get hold of the ball. Bring the midfielders into play or your other forwards.
Fowler. Reyna. Well aware that the time is on Manchester City's side. This comes in the end, dealt with by the other number 24, Fortune. But with the ball in the first half, excellent play by Manchester City. Without it so much in the second half, they've still looked a decent unit, still pressing when they can. They're closing in on what will be a special day for Stuart Pearce if it is to be his first win. Musampa, who's turned young and goes for the shot. Had a little look, to be fair, to see what was on in the middle, but decided
might have been enough to put him off. It's fantastic skill. Bartlett disappears upfield. Luke Young gets turned, looks up into the middle. I think that's what put him off. He should just concentrate, get his head down, try and hit it on target. But he's had a good game. I agree with you, Martin. I think it's his best game for the club. Played really well, particularly in the first half.
Jordan, who's never let Manchester City down when he's been in the team. He was sort of really written off as a reserve player rather than a young player who understand the difference. He's in his 20s and that possibly would be released at the end of this season. I'm sure he's done enough for that to change. Oh, just slipped at the crucial moment. Charlton are finding it hard to get the ball now with all their extra attacking options on, like Lisbie. And they're 6 minutes plus added time away, Manchester City, from giving Stuart Pearce the chance to break out into a very broad grin. Not time yet, though. Heavy fall for Lisbie. Worked hard to get the ball for his team. A little bit of a personal price for it, and they didn't keep it either for very long. Onuoha was inexperienced, was just caught out in that moment where Charlton got their equaliser, but look at him go here. Was a Manchester Schools sprint champion.
See that there, by the way, went past Thomas. He left him for pace, good skill as well.
Lisbie. Dunne played it against Jetfers. James waits for the whole of the ball to cross the line, which it doesn't do. So he had to smack it long in the end. Charlton rather given up on it. Konchesky. Murphy. Fowler's won the header, and it's Macken. Wearily, and that would have been one of the craziest own goals if it had ended up in the back of Kiely's net. But Macken just ran out of the legs, really. Robbie Fowler setting up the opening for Macken. I'm sorry for the point you made earlier in the day about Macken being short of starts, and I'm sure that's worked against him again there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Just a little short of fitness and that sharpness that you get when you're on a goal-scoring run. Feel a bit for him at the moment, John Macken, because it's not quite happening, but he's just got to go through it, keep working. Eventually you get your goal, and then you get another goal, and then another one. And that happens to all players. We all go through it.
Jordan, Macken, and Musampa. City crown it with a third goal here at the Valley, where it's offside. Pumped against the post by Fowler. There's still cast in the role of match winner.
Pass is just delayed a fraction. It's a great run from Robbie Fowler. Lovely strike. Musampa just delaying the pass. Fowler being offside.
Jordan. David James's. 3 minutes. Plus added time. It seemed like 3 years to Stuart Pearce.
Just got to defend properly now. Getting into that time of the match. Just do the right things. You get the ball forward, keep it in the corner if necessary. There's 3 massive points for Manchester City and for Stuart Pearce particularly.
But Beyna made the run ahead of the ball, which is very good from Manchester City's point of view. They've not been sucked into deep defending and retreating and resting on their first half laurels. Having down the technical area for Charlton, saying, hang on a minute, must be a foul by Onuoha, but Rob Starr's taking the view that the young right back just stood his ground. Just feel, Tony, that Charlton haven't done enough in the second half, even though they've swapped their players around to deserve even a draw.
No, I agree. I think it's been a better performance. It couldn't have been worse than the first half. Better performance, but a lot of it, the final ball, I think, has just let them down. They haven't really created too many clear-cut chances to warrant them even getting an equaliser, let alone a winning goal.
Young. The time is still there for an equaliser. There's a league that's been littered with late goals. Drama in the dying embers of matches.
A lot of that is down to tiredness. It's been a very warm day. Players get tired, mistakes are made in the last sort of 3, 4, 5 minutes. And I think Alan Kiely will certainly settle for a point now.
And some Charlton fans have given up on Alan Kirby's team today, which they might regret. And it's Robbie Fowler's throw. It's been another feature of the Manchester City season, how that Fowler has got his form back, his fitness back. Maybe I should say his fitness first, because that was the key to it.
Of course it is. I think he's been outstanding today, Robbie Fowler. His overall game, got his goal as well. But fitness is the key to it. If you get a fit Robbie Fowler, you know that he's got the quality.
James put the brakes on in time. Sibierski. Musampa does go for goal this time, and comes out to Kiely. Got his shot on target this time. And certainly kept his head down and hit through the ball on this occasion, as Tony Cottee was rightly advising him to do.
Yeah, we've done it all right this time, didn't they? This time he knows he's on his own. I think he just dips a little bit, doesn't he, in front of Kiely. It's Fowler with the follow-up. He's under pressure.
3 minutes away from 3 points for Manchester City and their rookie manager. Did get manager of the month in his short time with Nottingham Forest. As he was telling us before the game, he got manager of the month before he ever got a player of the month award. So it's rolling back the clock a little bit, 96-97 season. Jordan. Barton. That's Bartlett to come back to try and help Charlton get the ball. Sometimes it's counterproductive when you have so many attacking players on that there's no supply, because winning the ball is beyond those defensive-minded players who are left. Fowler goes to the right. Beyna feeds it. Deep ball on for Musampa here. One touch to control, and the second shot. He's had 3 efforts at goal in the closing minutes here, and still not over his Manchester City account.
I thought he could have hit it first time. Lovely vision again from Robbie Fowler.
Over Charlton, Manchester City last happened 20 years ago. 90 seconds away from doing it in the 2004-2005 campaign. Young. Will not be able to believe it.
They'll be absolutely gutted, Stuart Pearce, but they do really well, Charlton, because they just work the ball. Not long ball this time, work the ball into the right areas. Great run again from Franny Jetfers to the near post. They're overloaded at the back. Just manages to sneak it in past David James. It's a good finish from Chris Perry. Doesn't get too many goals, but that could be really important at the end of the season. It's the only place he could put it. Anywhere else, David James saves it.
Well, we were talking about Charlton not deserving a draw, but they've got one, and they've got what, well, 10 seconds or so to try and come up with a very, very late turnaround here. David James got beaten at the